Hi guys, and welcome again to Universal Scroll. As always, it's your girl Yossi, and if you're new to this platform, this is Universal Scroll, the universal united Christian family open to all desiring to discover God better and grow spiritually. As always, I would like to say that we are not bound by any denomination or race or nationality. We simply use the Bible as our sole standard for every single thing that we believe. And today we're going to be talking about mistakes that singles make when waiting for the one, when waiting for their life partner, their spouse. So what are these mistakes? Because, we don't want to make a mistake in, the process of getting married, because if we miss it in marriage, it can really be detrimental in our work with God. It can really affect us. It can really affect even our journey in fulfilling our kingdom purpose. So we need to align rightly. There's a reason why the scripture says that we should not align with darkness. Darkness and light cannot be in the same boat. So we need to be very careful so that we don't make these mistakes. So it's important for us to shed light on it so that all my single sisters and all my single brothers out there would bear this in mind, and it will be a guide so that you don't make that error and then gnash your teeth afterwards. All right, let's get started. Alright guys, so we're going to get started on the very first mistake that I've noticed a lot of Christian singles make when waiting for the one, and that is being focused on marriage as opposed to being focused on God. So marriage focused instead of God focused. Now, it's not like it's bad for you to desire marriage. It's not like it's bad for you to pray for it and anticipate it and ask God for it and long for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem lies in when you now change that to make it into a stage of obsession, where everything that you think and breathe and everything that you pray about is always revolving around husband, always revolving around wife. You're constantly always just engrossed in this. I want to get married. That's all you're thinking about. It's like that's the next thing on your calendar, and it swarms everything that you occupy your mind in. Think about it. Anytime that you actually pause to pray, what is the first thing that you pray about? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? What are you always bringing to God in prayer? What are you always anticipating about? You're just eager to get married, and so it's like the whole thing clouds every of your vision. When you are going overboard. As I begin to talk about this thing, some people will begin to identify it in their lives. Like, you can tell, because you would know. Don't deceive yourself. People can deceive us, but we cannot deceive ourselves, and we can also deceive people, but we cannot deceive ourselves. So it's important for us to evaluate ourselves so that we can be like that person that goes to the mirror and checks himself out and then makes the adjustments before. So it is really crucial that we are God focused, not just marriage focused. Yes, we should desire marriage, but we should be focused on God, because the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing will be added unto us. That means our spouse will be added to us. That kingdom partner that we're anticipating will be added unto us. Your partner will find you in God. That's the truth. You just need to relax and trust the timetable of God. You need to relax and trust that God is in charge. God is the one that's orchestrating things around you for your favor. We did a video earlier on about singles in the Bible, on their journey towards getting married, and you see some, important insight that we're able to draw from that. So you can check out that video out. Anyways, the point is your focus needs to be on God. Your focus needs to be that you want to serve God. You want to do the will of God. You are working in your purpose with God, and in your alignment with God, your kingdom partner is going to align with you. So this is how I see it. You are in alignment with God. Your partner is in alignment with God. You guys will meet at the right point. There's going to be the set time. So relax. Trust God. Let God lead you. Let God direct you. If you're walking in the leading of Christ, if you're walking in the direction of God, you will get in touch with your kingdom spouse. You just need to relax. Make sure that you are constantly led by God, and that's why you need to be in the place of intimacy with God, in the place of fellowship with God, such that you know the mind of God. Your actions are backed by the leading of Christ. So anything that you do is by the leading of God. So you know that your steps are being ordered aright. You just need to trust that He is weaving everything for your favor. So do not focus on marriage, because what that does is that it gives room for deception. It gives you room for you to start assuming so many things. Somebody comes to meet you and then you're already assuming that, okay, because he came in this manner and I was praying about it yesterday, that means he's the one. And you're now doing your own human calculations and mixed matching and all of that, because the devil would dangle the false thing in front of you to lure you away from your blessing. So it might look all pretty and glamorous in the outside, but inside is rotten. So it would dangle something that will distract you. And because you are looking for signs, because you're looking for, okay, I prayed that God should give me a spouse and this month, and because somebody just came to meet you this month, then you now say that has to be the person, because you are just looking for the spouse so much that any sign that you see that somebody comes to meet you, maybe the thing looks like it's well orchestrated, you don't even look at where God is prompting you to see those darkness and making you know that it is wrong, but you're just overwhelmed with all of the nice signs because you prayed about it yesterday and the guy came to meet you yesterday. So you're already thinking that, of course, match and match, it has to be my kingdom spouse, it has to be my husband, yeah, she has to be my wife. Please relax, trust God, let Him lead you to your spouse. And I'm smiling because I just know that this is what a lot of singles do, and once you're able to relax, you will see that a lot of ease will be for you. God leads us in the still waters, so you have to just be relaxed. He will lead you to the still waters so that you can drink easily, so that you can, as in move with ease. Things should not be with fighting. You should not be doing too much. Once you're doing too much, just know that, see, God is not inside of it, because it's not by your power. God prides Himself that He wants to prove that it is not by you, it's not by your actions, it is just by His mercy and His grace. So when you are doing too much action, see, sisters and brothers, you need to relax and just let God do the work. Okay? All right. And this mistake leads to the other, which is failure to build your intimacy and relationship with God, because you're waiting for a spouse that would ginger you, that would motivate you into doing that. I remember, having discussion with a friend of mine, and he was saying something about, how he wants to get married to a very good Christian sister that will be able to, motivate him to pray more, to, do devotion better, and to, increase his spiritual life. And I was like, okay, yes, it sounds good to the ear, but the truth of the matter is that a Christian sister also wants a Christian guy that would also motivate her. So it's supposed to be iron sharpening iron, not iron rubbing on wood. Do you get me? It's not iron rubbing on wood. So if you are not hot and then you're expecting her to just come and do all the work, then that is just not balanced. The same way, if she is not hot and then she's expecting you as a guy to do all the work, it just doesn't work out. So both of you have to be strong. So you don't want to be the one pulling somebody up, and you don't want somebody to be pulling you up either. So it's the two of you supposed to be sharpening each other. So it's important for you to build your relationship with God. Remember that I said that when you are in alignment with God, if you have a good relationship with God, you would walk in alignment with Him, and then you would be able to meet your kingdom spouse. It is when you are not in alignment with God, that's when you're doing things with your own head knowledge, you're doing things with your own might, you're just going about your own thing, and then you're wondering why it's taking forever. Now, I'm not saying that if your marriage hasn't come early, let's say you are in your 30s, in your 40s, you have not gotten married, it means that you are not in alignment with God. Doesn't mean that. Everybody's time is different, but make sure that it's not based on your own mistakes. So align with God and let God do it in His own perfect time. He will grant you peace. You would know when there is peace. So just make sure that you are building that relationship with God, so that even by the time your partner comes to meet with you, it will be fire upon fire, fire jamming fire, igniting, like it will be explosive. Because when two firebrand Christians are joined together, it's going to do a huge explosion in the nations. So it's important that you are also ignited. You are also, burning for God. And it will just be a marvelous union when the two of you come together. And another mistake that I notice that a lot of Christians also make is not developing themselves. So some people would develop themselves spiritually, but neglect to develop themselves in other areas. And that is a very big no. I see this happening a lot, especially with, religious people. Now, God has not called us to religion. Christianity being a religion is man-made. I talked about Christianity as a religion, some time back, I think last year, last 2 years. So I would put the link somewhere so you can check it out. It's not a religion, it's a lifestyle, it's a way of life, it's a culture. So it will be a part of your life. So God is not calling you to religion. God is not calling you to be a saint, to be within holier than thou. No, He's not calling you to religion. He's calling you to a lifestyle. So as you grow yourself spiritually, ensure that you also grow yourself in other areas. Grow yourself mentally, grow yourself emotionally, grow yourself psychologically. This is crucial because some people are mature spiritually. They know some, great things spiritually. And when it comes to some other areas, like when it comes to emotional intelligence, they have like zero, like they don't have any emotional intelligence, or they don't have social skills. They don't know how to relate with another person apart from it being in relation to Bible. Like they don't know how to have conversations. They don't know how to be a good husband. They don't know how to be a good wife. They don't know how to be a good friend. They don't know how to be, a good companion. So when the person gets married, it's not only going to be Bible study you're going to be doing in your house. Like honestly, it's not going to be Bible study every day. There needs to be that relationship. There needs to be that, communication that needs to take place. So as you're growing yourself spiritually, ensure that you grow yourself in other areas so that, marriage is sweet. Grow yourself mentally so that even when the two of you are talking, you guys are on the same wavelength. Not that somebody is talking A, you are talking B. Like it's not just aligning because you guys cannot just agree. You guys cannot just meet. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to have the same mindset as your spouse, but there should be a level of, connection and togetherness in the way you guys look at issues. If not, there will be a lot of fights going on when somebody has a different ideology and another person has another ideology altogether and it's clashing. Then it will not work because it will now be, you guys brushing against yourselves. So it's important that you grow yourself. God has taught us so many things through the scriptures. If you read Proverbs, if you read Psalms, you see a lot of things that we can learn from the scriptures in regards to our daily living. You need to also ensure that as you read the scriptures as well, make sure that you grow other areas of your life. Make sure that you know how to relate with people. Make sure that you know how to forgive. Make sure that you know how to, encourage somebody. Make sure that you learn those other soft skills that would be very helpful in making a good, connection with your spouse. So do not just focus on only spiritual maturity and neglect other areas. It's supposed to be a well-rounded growth. So grow yourself in all areas. And I would suggest reading books. I would suggest going on YouTube like this and watching videos. Watch good videos. Don't just spend your time only looking at comedy and dance clips. Like watch important things. There's this link I'm going to put down in the description. It's my link where I talk about important everyday stuff. It would help in inspiring you in day-to-day things apart from just only spiritual things. Yes, spiritual things are very important. It is actually number one, but other things still need to be worked on. So do not make that mistake of just dwelling on spiritual things and neglecting your all-round growth. Now, another mistake that a lot of Christian singles make is dating. Yes, you heard me right, dating. And yeah, the Bible doesn't say thou shalt not date. So I'm not telling you that it is a sin to date, but I want you to look at the concept of dating and hear my arguments out at least. Okay. All right. So, the way the dating thing works, as is common, is that guy meets girl, girl meets guy, they like themselves, and so they decide to date one another, boyfriend and girlfriend. So they are now dating each other, getting to know one another, and let's use the Christian way of doing it. So they know that there's no sex before marriage. I want to believe that we all are doing this no sex before marriage as God has instructed. So they are doing the no sex before marriage. So the whole idea is for them to get to know themselves better, and in the process it will lead to marriage, all things being equal. Now let's look at it this way. We are Christians and we believe that we are led by God. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of these relationships that start off like this do not usually end in marriage. Now, the truth is, are you, being led by God into that relationship? Ask yourself that question. Did God tell you to be in alignment with that person? Did God tell you that that person is your spouse? Did God say so? Did God confirm that to you? Did God let you know that this is the person that you're supposed to be aligned with? No. Majority of the time, it's no. Because a lot of times we see Christian singles that will date one guy and then another guy, or a girl, another girl, like they'll have, exes and then get into marriage. And yes, at the end of the day, they'll get married and it'll work out well. But the point is, why that whole process? So are you waiting on God to tell you your spouse? Are you waiting on God to confirm your spouse to you? Are you waiting for God to lead you? We always talk about God leading us and directing us. And if that is the truth in your case, if you can trust God to lead you to the right job, if you can trust God to lead you to make the right decision, if you can trust God to lead you in key decisions of your life, then why are you not trusting God with your relationship? But you're trying to do it with your head knowledge. You're leaning on your own understanding. And so you meet somebody and you're trying to get to know the person and you are dating this person. And then you guys date for like about a year. And then you discover that this person is not the right fit for you. And then at the end of it, and meanwhile, the other person might be looking at you as, the perfect fit. Now, one person gets disappointed or one person, breaks it off and somebody gets hurt. And then there's that pain from that. And you're wondering, why did that have to take place? God did not send you message. You're the one that could not wait for God to tell you when it is the time for you to get married. The idea of, marriage is that we wait on God. So how I see it happening is that, as a girl or a guy, you see somebody, a Christian, and you guys like each other, like you get attracted to somebody. It's normal. Now, the way I see it as ideal is that, a guy or a girl, as Christians, go about their business and, guy meets girl, girl meets guy, they like themselves because, of course, attraction happens and it's normal. Now, you take that attraction before God in prayer and ask God if that person is your person. Now, while you're praying to God about that person, you can be friendly with that person. You can build a friendship with this person, because what is really the difference between what is going to be happening in your boyfriend and girlfriend zone that would not be happening in friendship? Because you're not supposed to be doing anything that is not supposed to be entitled in friendship. Like, you're not supposed to be awakening love before it is time, as the Bible says. You're not supposed to be kissing and smooshing and having sex and all of those things. No. Right? So what is really going on? So why can't you be just friends and get to know each other in the friendship and get to have good godly friends around you? Now bear in mind that the guy is still friends with the girl and the girl is still friends with this guy. So they are both friends and they're still, going out together as friends, enjoying each other's company as friends. There's no strings attached. As Christians, we just hang out with one another, have a good time with each other, and just have fun together as Christians. No strings attached, no unnecessary emotions attached, no romance attached, just friendship. Meanwhile, as you're nursing that, desire in your heart, you are praying to God. If the girl also has that desire, she's also nursing it and praying to God about it. When God gives you the go ahead, then okay, this is actually my wife, this is actually my husband. Then the guy proposes to the girl and then the girl accepts, and then they are working towards marriage. Now they know that God has said, this is my spouse. So now they can align because they know that they are meant for each other. Now they are working towards a goal. They know that it's marriage that is headed to. So they're not doing boyfriend and girlfriend actually. They're just, working towards a marriage. It's fiance and fiance straight up. They're going to marriage. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that the guy should just come and meet the girl and say, "Would you marry me?" I mean, that's going to be shocking because the girl might not even have looked at your side at all. So, you can always walk, once you have a knowing in your heart as the guy, you can always walk up to the girl to let her know your intentions and allow her have time to pray and seek God's face as well. And that's why I said in the beginning that you need to be in alignment with God. You need to have a relationship with God because if you have these two things, when this person comes to meet you, you just need to ask your father and he will tell you the answer. And then you can say, "Yes, sir, it is in connection, like it's aligning." And if it's not aligning, sir, it's like you need to go and check your network. It's not really connecting. All right. So it all boils down to your relationship with God. You should not be doing testing, trial and error. It's not mechanic. It's not Nigerian mechanic. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then it's not of God. No. It's not a give or take thing. It is you waiting on God and trusting God to lead you aright. So stop doing testing, dating. Stop going from one relationship to another. Stop doing let's see how it goes. It's not Christian like. It's not showing that you are depending on God for your decisions. It's like you're just trying out things and seeing whichever works. So save yourself a lot of unnecessary, entanglements and a lot of unnecessary heartbreak by waiting on God. Now, it might feel like a lonely journey, and that's why I always advocate for Christians building good friendships around themselves. Because if you focus on building good Christian friends, you will not feel lonely. Because we need one another, actually. It's not good to be an island, by yourself. It's good to have good Christian friends around you. So, if you're not an introvert like myself, then of course you need a lot of company. Even myself as an introvert, I love good Christian company. So it's important that you just have a good network around yourself. And when you see somebody that your heart is, attracted towards, that you have a prompting in your spirit towards, you take it to God. When God confirms, He will let you know. As a sister, even if you've seen a guy that you like, take it to God in prayer as well. It's the same thing. Take it to God in prayer as well. And when God lets you know, let God lead Him to you. You don't have to be too forward. Let God lead Him to you. You just need to be praying for God to open His eyes. You can be friendly with Him as normal. You can be nice to Him and be kind to Him. I'm a traditional person, so I don't believe in toasting a guy. I don't believe in that. I just believe that the man should go and meet the woman and say, she's the person. So chill, be friendly, be nice, be in the right place, and pray to God. Let God open His eyes. You also want a man that hears God. You also want a man that has a relationship with God. So let him hear from God too. And God is not an author of confusion. So if you trust God, He would align everything to you. So just, if God has confirmed it to you, trust that He is also talking to that person. Relax and pray that He prompts the person to act fast. The right time, the person will align with you. So you need to relax and wait on God. Honestly, the whole thing boils down to your trust in God and your dependence on God. That's the truth. So dating is testing. Mic 1 2, testing 1 2, mic 1 2. You're just testing. If it works out, good. If it doesn't work out, oh, you're not of God. You're stressing yourself. You're stressing yourself. Now, another major mistake that some Christian singles make is that when they even get into a relationship, right? They're not yet married. They've met somebody that they know that is going to be their spouse, right? And they're in a relationship. They're working towards marriage, and there are some red flags that show up. It's not good for you to just keep quiet about those red flags and not address it because your partner is not going to be perfect. And there's some things that you need to say right there and there. There's something called that I call fake peace. So something is obviously not right and you just refuse to address it because for peace sake. Like you just don't talk about it. And then it's still eating you up, but you're not saying anything about it because for peace sake. And then down the line, you cannot just take it anymore and then you explode. And the person is like, but that's how I've been doing it since now. How come you're just reacting now? Right? Now, I like to look at, the way habits are formed. If somebody tries something that you don't like the first time, it's just a trial. People like to try things out. Like children, they will try you out. When you reprimand them, they know that she's not going to have it. So they know that that action is not going to be allowed. Then they're going to stop it. They might try again. And when they meet they see that they are met with resistance, they see that you discipline them for it, they know that this action is not going to be allowed. So they know that they should not continue. Even, adults in general, like adults do this as well without even realizing it. And I'll put it this way. So if you talk to somebody anyhow and the person doesn't, respond, the person doesn't say anything, guess what? You're going to feel easier to say it again, to do that same thing again to the person because the person did not say anything. But if the person, reacted and said, the person does, and the person said, I don't like this thing. When next you want to do that, there will be that little caution in your mind that said, don't do that. This person doesn't like it. So you caution yourself. So when somebody does something to you that hurts you, it's important to let them know how you feel about what they have done. Say it there and there. And if you're too emotional at that moment, maybe take a pause and then address it, not too long afterwards. Don't wait until it's like a week, days and a month, and then you're not saying, that's how that day you did this and this and that. No, don't nurse things in. So if somebody does something that was an error and there was a misunderstanding, and I've already told the person that this is what I don't like, I expect that the person would now take caution and be more careful next time not to repeat that same error, so that peace will reign. So the onus lies on you to tell your partner some of the things that you think that they need to work on. You need to let your partner know the red flags that you don't like. Don't just allow for fake peace and then you are burning inside, you are hurting inside, and then there's bitterness in your heart and you're just getting peace and boiling inside. And then one day you just explode and then you now scatter the whole thing. And then you now overreact over like a very little thing, like you really overreact, and you're like, on top this small matter, why are you raising the roof? And then they don't know that it has been, heating up since. So address issues. Don't let them escalate so that the person can work on it earlier on. Something that you will not take tomorrow, don't take it now. And there's a way that you can express why you don't like something that will get the person to really understand where you're coming from and would understand. Now, they might not always understand everything, but at least they know that this thing is something that doesn't sit down well with you. And somebody that loves you will not want to hurt you. So it's important to voice it out. Don't just keep things in, and just because you want to get married, you're like, okay, so that it will not scatter. This marriage was not joined together by your power. It was joined together by God. They started from the beginning again. When God is involved, it is with God. God is the one that is joining the two of you together. Be honest with yourselves. Be honest in how you feel. Express yourself. Talk about some of the things that you don't like. You guys need to work on yourselves so that you can improve yourselves together. So don't just bottle things up. It is not healthy. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell to get notified when we release a new video. And of course, like this video and share with your friends and family so that they can join the Universal Scroll family. You can also hang out with us on our social media handles. Thank you and God bless you. Bye guys.